My fiancée secretly pawned the engagement ring to help her best friend. When I confronted her, she said, "It was just a ring. You're blowing it out of proportion." I kicked her out, and now she's begging to come back. If someone had told me a year ago that this is how it would end, I wouldn't have believed it. I was ready to get married. I had the ring, the plans, and the certainty that I'd found the woman I wanted to grow old with. I'm not saying everything was perfect, but I believed there was respect, commitment, and loyalty, the bare minimum to build something real. I was wrong. Camilla was the kind of person who seemed to have a light of her own, warm, intelligent, funny. She had that spark that made everything feel lighter when she was around. Time with her was easy. She didn't force anything, didn't look for problems where there were none. I loved her approach to life, her sense of humor, and the calm she radiated without saying much. Being with her felt right. I wasn't looking for a perfect woman, just someone to build something real with, and for a while I thought I'd found her. Alvaro was always in her life. They were lifelong friends, inseparable since childhood. At first, it didn't bother me. She said he was like a brother, that there was never anything romantic between them, and I chose to believe her. I tried hard not to be the jealous partner who questions everything, but over time, I noticed that in many important decisions, he came first. Whenever something bothered me, the conversation ended with her telling me I was overreacting, that I needed to trust her. Looking back, I don't know how I put up with it for so long. Maybe because I truly loved her, or because I didn't want to admit something was broken, but I'm not that guy anymore. It won't happen again. I met Camilla at a cooking class I signed up for out of boredom, more to fill my evenings than out of love for cooking. I'd show up late, sit in the back, and follow the recipes without talking to anyone. Then she came in like a whirlwind. She greeted the group as if she'd known them forever, with a loud laugh and an energy that was contagious. I remember the first time she dropped a spoon, and instead of being embarrassed, cracked a silly joke that made everyone laugh, including me. With just a few words, I knew I wanted to stick around. She wasn't just beautiful, she was magnetic. You could tell she had her own world and wasn't afraid to show it. From then on, we started crossing paths more often in class, at coffee shops afterward, in messages that became more frequent. Little by little, we grew together, overcoming insecurities, sharing goals, building something together. We created a home where before there was only space for one. When I proposed, she cried as if she hadn't expected it, though I knew she wanted it. There was a mix of surprise and relief, like everything was falling into place. She hugged me so tightly I thought she'd never let go. I was completely swept up in it. I dove headfirst into planning dates, venues, budgets, vendors. I'm not a fan of the drama of wedding planning. It overwhelms me, but I did it gladly for her because I wanted it to be perfect. She got involved too, of course, but there was a difference I soon noticed. Many of her decisions went through Alvaro first. I met him early on. She introduced him as her soul brother, someone who'd been with her through every stage: adolescence, breakups, achievements. They had inside jokes, obscure references, a way of talking that made it clear they went way back. And though it sounds harsh to say, it bothered me. I never fully warmed to him, not because he did anything directly to me, but because of his overconfidence, his constant presence in our lives. He always seemed to have one foot in our relationship. But I tolerated it for her because I didn't want to seem insecure or jealous, and because I trusted that if she chose me, it was for a reason. There were dinners where he acted like it was his house, vacations where he happened to be in the same city. Camilla laughed it off, defended him, told me I was overreacting, and out of love, I chose to look the other way. I swallowed the jealousy, the doubts. I thought it was just part of the package. But the engagement changed something, or at least I felt it did. I thought priorities would shift, that her symbiotic bond with Alvaro would naturally start to have boundaries, that now it would be her and me making important decisions as a couple. But it was the opposite. Suddenly they had more outings together, new excuses, plans that popped up by chance. They sent each other inside joke memes, videos, cartoon voice audios, nicknames like my platonic other half, my forever bro, the eternal A and C team. They took photos hugging and posted them with captions like "always us against the world," as if our engagement didn't affect them in the slightest. And these weren't old memories, they were new, current things still happening. I brought it up respectfully, without accusations, trying not to sound bitter, though the discomfort was already a knot inside me. "Do you think it's normal that he gets to weigh in on your wedding dress before I do?" I asked one night, faking a calm I didn't feel. She let out a soft, almost mocking laugh as if my comment was absurd. "Oh, don't overreact. Alvaro's just excited. He's known me forever. He always helps with this stuff. I get that, but some things feel like they should be just us." "He's not marrying you. I am." She turned to me, still smiling, but with a different edge, almost annoyed. "You're not getting it. It's just his way of being there. It's his way of saying he's happy for me." The conversation could have ended there, but it didn't. A few days later, during a video call with one of her friends, the topic of the ceremony music came up. That's when I heard something that left me speechless. "Oh yeah," Camilla said casually. "Alvaro and I already picked the entrance song. It's going to be perfect." A song I didn't even know. I didn't even know they'd been discussing it, let alone decided. I brought it up again, this time more seriously. I told her I felt sidelined, that this didn't feel like a partnership of two anymore, but of three, that some things should include me, even if just out of respect. That's when she shut down completely. Are you starting with jealousy now? She said, not raising her voice but looking at me like I'd crossed a line. Because if that's where you're going, just tell me you don't trust me. It's not jealousy, it's respect, I replied, keeping my tone low. Then don't say things that sound like the opposite. Sometimes I feel like you're just waiting for an excuse to mark your territory. You know what that's called? I stayed silent. I knew where this was going. Control. And yeah, it can sound like machismo too. I swallowed the urge to snap back, not because I agreed, but because I realized anything I said would just fuel the argument. I nodded, more out of exhaustion than conviction. Inside, I felt we were no longer speaking the same language. I was trying to set boundaries. She was turning them into personal offenses. I wanted this to work, but I didn't know how. And meanwhile, Alvaro was still there, as if the wedding was his too. A few weeks later, we'd planned a dinner with my parents. It was set up a week in advance, nothing fancy, just a quiet meal at home. Camilla had said yes, even seemed excited when we planned it. But an hour before, I got a text from her. Sorry, love, Alvaro's having a bad day and asked me to hang out. We're going to the movies. I'll let you know when I'm back. I stared at the screen, waiting for a follow-up message, a better explanation, something that at least tried to sound like an apology. Nothing came. My parents arrived on time, bringing a bottle of wine and that polite demeanor of people trying not to intrude. They asked about her, of course. I made up that something had come up at work, a last-minute meeting. My mom nodded but didn't reliable. She didn't say anything, but her silence was heavy. The dinner was short, forced small talk, long pauses, plates left half full. I tried to act normal, keep the conversation going, but inside I was juggling shame, discomfort, and anger. I felt exposed. Camilla came home around 11, laughing with her phone in hand, her jacket half off. She still had the paper wristband from the movie theater. Your parents already left, she asked, as if she'd just forgotten there was a dinner planned. Yeah, a while ago, I replied curtly. Oh well, they were probably tired anyway, she said, kicking off her shoes and looking at me like nothing was wrong. I followed her to the bedroom. You said you'd come, I reminded her. I know, but Alvaro was off, down. We went for a walk and then the movie thing came up. It wasn't planned. And it didn't occur to you to text earlier. You texted an hour before, you knew they were coming. I texted as soon as we decided, and I knew it wasn't a formal dinner or anything. I thought you'd understand. I crossed my arms, making an immense effort not to raise my voice. Camilla, it's not just the dinner, it's the pattern. It's like everything in your life goes through Alvaro first, even the obvious stuff. She huffed and crossed her arms too, as if I were the one out of line. Again with this, really, it's Alvaro, my best friend. How many times are we going to have this talk? And what am I, the guy you're marrying or just a prop in your life? There was a silence, one of those that doesn't just make you uncomfortable, it chills everything. She looked down for a second, like she was hesitating, like something weighed on her, even just a little. But it was only a second. You're not being fair, she said finally. You're blowing this out of proportion. I'm asking for respect. That's not out of proportion. I promise I'll be more careful, she said, lowering her tone. I'll change some things, just don't make it so big. But she said it without heart, without weight, like a rehearsed line meant to shut me up. After that last argument, Camilla seemed to take it seriously. She started putting distance between her and Alvaro. No more endless texts, no more inside jokes whispered while I stood nearby, excluded. No more late-night calls out of habit or impromptu outings without explanation. It all faded, as if she'd finally understood that her closeness with him was an open wound between us. There were days when I thought we were back to being us. We cooked together again. She laughed more, hugged me without me asking, looked me in the eyes when we talked. Small, almost imperceptible details to anyone else, but to me they were signs, like green shoots on a plant you thought was dead. Even my mom, without knowing what had happened, commented that we seemed better. She said Camilla seemed more present, more focused on us like before. I nodded without telling her about Alvaro, my doubts, or the nights I wondered if I was a fool for staying. It was a calm month, or so I thought. One night, as we were heading out to dinner, I noticed she wasn't wearing the ring. It was when we got out of the car, as she unbuckled her seatbelt. Her left hand passed in front of my eyes, and something in me triggered like a silent alarm. What's that about? I asked, trying to sound casual, keeping my tone neutral, like I was asking about a forgotten scarf. Camilla glanced at her hand as if she'd just noticed. Oh, I left it in the bathroom. I was trying on accessories and left it on the shelf, she said naturally with a slight smile, one of those rehearsed ones, brushing it off. We're already here. We can't go back for it now, but it's there, don't worry. I believed her, or wanted to, because after so many fights, all I wanted was peace, not more tension, not another tough conversation in a restaurant, so I didn't push. I forced myself to think it was just a slip, a meaningless oversight. A few days later, while looking for my portable charger, I swore I'd left it in a drawer. I opened the top drawer of her nightstand. Among notebooks, shopping receipts, and bags of accessories, I found something I didn't expect. A pawnshop receipt, folded in four, tucked under a box of adhesive strips. The date was from a week earlier, just days before our dinner. The description was unmistakable, 10-carat gold ring with an internal engraving. My stomach churned. That was my ring, the one I'd saved for months to buy, the one I chose carefully, nervously, excitedly, the one I hid in the back of the closet so she wouldn't see it before the right moment, the one engraved with "to our time," because that's what we called ourselves, our time. I stood still, the paper burning between my fingers. I don't know how long I stayed like that. The phone clock said 7:22 when I opened the drawer. The next time I looked, it was past 8. I didn't call, didn't text, just sat on the couch with the receipt in hand, waiting for her to come home. I had no idea what I'd say. I had no speech prepared. I just knew there was no going back. I waited in silence, sitting on the edge of the couch, the receipt crumpled and damp from my sweaty hands. I don't know how much time passed since I found it, only that I felt hollow inside, like something in me had shut off. I wasn't angry, not yet, just empty, like something had stopped working. I heard the lock turn, then her steps, the jingle of keys on the entry table, the faint thud of her bag being set aside. She came in as always, as if nothing had broken, as if I still believed in her. "What are you doing sitting there so serious?" she asked, half laughing, without even looking at me. I didn't answer, just held up the paper with 2 fingers, extending my arm toward her. No explanation was needed. Camilla froze. Her face hardened instantly, no feigned surprise, no trace of shame. "It's not what it looks like," she said quickly. "Then what is it?" My voice was calmer than I felt, too steady, like I already knew the answer. She crossed her arms, tense. "It was an emergency." "I had no choice. I didn't tell you because you'd react like this. That's your justification, lying to me because you assumed how I'd react," I scoffed, as if she were the one inconveniencing me. "It was just a ring. It's in safekeeping. I didn't sell it. I can get it back. Don't make a drama out of this." "Just a ring," I repeated, my jaw trembling. "That just a ring cost me months of work. It's not about the money. It's what it represents, what it meant to me, to us." "I know, but Alvaro was in a tough spot. I couldn't leave him hanging." "It's always him," I said slowly, no longer surprised. "Always him first, always before me." "It's not like that," she shot back, defensive. "He's been there for me forever. I couldn't turn my back on him. And where does that leave me? Am I your partner or just an extra in your life while you decide who you owe your loyalty to?" She opened her mouth to respond but said nothing, just looked at me like she couldn't understand why it hurt so much. "Don't talk to me like I betrayed you. I didn't do it to hurt you." "No, Camilla, you did it because you wanted to. You decided our relationship was worth less than his problem. I was going to get it back. It was temporary. It's still there. No one's touched it. And you think that fixes anything. You think knowing it's there makes this hurt less." She went silent. Her eyes welled up, but no tears fell. "He asked for help. He's always helped me. I felt I had to return the favor. And that was worth more than what we built together. You threw it all away." "I didn't throw it away," she shouted, her voice finally breaking. "I was just trying to help. Your loyalty to him cost us what we built." She took a step toward me, eyes glassy but still trying to convince me. "We can fix this. I love you. I didn't mean to hurt you." "Sometimes love isn't enough," I said, shaking my head more to myself than to her. "It's not just the ring. It's everything we promised, everything we swore to protect, and you broke it like it was disposable." Now she was crying uncontrollably, without words. "I was scared," she murmured finally. "Scared you'd get mad, scared of disappointing you. And lying to me seemed better. I didn't know what to do. I thought if I fixed it in time there'd be no consequences, that you'd never know. And then we'd go on like nothing happened, with that lie between us. I just wanted to avoid conflict," she confessed, looking down. "I was trapped. Everything I did would have been wrong. You weren't trapped. You chose, and you didn't choose me." I ran a hand over my face. The air itself hurt. "I've spent so much time justifying you, making excuses for you, lying to myself just to avoid the obvious. I told myself you were confused, that it was temporary, that love was enough." She nodded quickly, as if my words were a lifeline. "But it is enough. We can still save this. Give me a chance." "No," I said, not raising my voice, not with anger, just with certainty. "You reached my limit, Camilla, and you crossed it." She covered her face with both hands, sobbing uncontrollably. "Don't leave me like this. It can't end this way. It's already over. You leave tonight. Where am I supposed to go? That's not my decision anymore." She stood still, looking around as if realizing she no longer belonged here. The books we picked out together, the photos on the shelf, the crooked vase she always hated. It was all closing the door on her. "This isn't over," she said through sobs, clinging to the impossible. "We'll talk when you calm down." "I won't. Please don't leave me like this. I swear I'll get the ring back." "I don't want the ring. I needed your trust in me, and you destroyed my trust in you." I looked at her one last time. Part of me wanted to go to her, take her hand, tell her everything would be okay, but that wasn't my place anymore. I got up without saying more, walked to my room, and closed the door behind me. I didn't want to see her pack, didn't want to hear her cry. I just wanted silence. Minutes later, I heard the front door close with a dry click, and I knew this time it was truly over. The days after she left, Camilla tried to come back. Calls, texts, even waiting outside my work. She left notes on my door, long texts at midnight, voicemails I never listened to. She begged to talk, to not shut her out, that she could explain everything, but there was nothing to explain, nothing that could undo what was done. I didn't respond, didn't open the door, didn't return a single word because I had no words left for her. On the third day, she stopped trying. She came back one afternoon when I wasn't home, took her things quietly, like someone accepting a defeat they never imagined facing. When I got home, I found the drawers empty, her side of the closet bare, the faint scent of her perfume lingering like a ghost that didn't know how to leave. I sat on the bed, letting the weight of the silence do its work. Weeks passed, then months. Her messages became fewer, shorter, as if even she was starting to realize there was no going back. Sometimes she'd send old photos or silly memories from our early dates with lines like, "Remember this," or "I wish we could go back there." Words that came too late, words that might have been enough in another time, but that time no longer existed. A mutual friend told me Alvaro had a new girlfriend, that he barely spoke to Camilla anymore, that she'd requested a work transfer, that she was trying to piece herself back together. I didn't ask more. I didn't care if she was suffering, if she'd learned anything, if she regretted it, not because I wished her harm, but because I finally understood my well-being couldn't keep revolving around what she did or didn't do. That's how it is. You can give everything, dream, build, bet on an us with all your heart. But if there's no respect on the other side, no matter how much love there is, love without respect rots. It becomes a burden, a ruin. And this time I chose not to drag myself through the rubble. This time I chose to be loyal to myself. Camilla was part of my life, and losing her hurt, but it hurt more to stay with someone who never fully chose me. And that's something I'm no longer willing to tolerate.